In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate how to deploy the JEE Spring Boot project to Google Cloud Platform. The application itself is on GitHub. This is the URL for the GitHub project, and the README explains how to go about deploying to Google Cloud, and the same procedure I'm going to show in this short video. So all of the prerequisites here is Java 21, but since we are using Google Cloud Shell, which only supports 17, we are going to switch this to Java 17. The same application still works for Java 17 as well. And yes, of course, we are using Maven to build, and we are also going to use Google Cloud SDK. The good news is that all the required softwares are already installed on Google Cloud Shell, so we'll use Cloud Shell to deploy this application. So let's actually take a look at the steps first, and then I'm going to walk you through every one of those steps so you have a good understanding of how to go about doing it. Before we begin, if you have a coupon, then first apply that coupon, because unless there is a valid billing account associated with your project, this whole set of procedures will not work. So if you have a coupon, go ahead and use this link to apply your coupon. And once that coupon is applied, that procedure itself might guide you to create a project. So go ahead and create any project, give some name. It should be a globally unique name. And of course, if you don't have a globally unique name, you'll be prompted to have one. So it's kind of easy to figure out. And it's also comes with suggestions. So just pick up one of those suggested project names and you're all set with that. Well, if the steps when you apply the coupon did not create the GCP project, then go ahead and create a new project from the console, from this console link. And then ensure that you also enable Vertex AI API from the console. So some of these steps, let me just show you quickly in a bit. Okay, here is the console.cloud.google.com. Since I already have a project, that project shows up here. And I can check whether it is associated with a billing or not by clicking on this left link, billing. That will walk me through the billings that are associated with it and ensure that, and as you can see, it is already set to billing account for education. So I'm all set with this one. Yeah, the next step is to enable the Vertex AI API. So once I'm here back in the console.cloud.google.com, I search for Vertex AI API, and here I get from the search results. The first one is the right one, so I'm going to click on that. And here is where you would have to enable this API. Otherwise, again, this simple project will not work for you. So mine is already enabled, so I just have this manage option. But for you folks who are not yet enabled, then this will be an enable button. So click on that so that Vertex AI API is enabled for the project, so that that project can work. Now let's take a look at the other steps that we have to go through. So I already talked about this. So from the left navigation, select the billing, go to the link billing account, and then click on credits to see that you have credits. And that should help you understand that your project is all set to go to the next step. Now you want to fork this project. The reason you want to fork is all changes that you're going to make, you have to push it to that same GitHub repo. You obviously will not be able to push to this repo if you don't fork it. So first fork this project into your account. You can make it private, public, it's up to you. But the changes that you're going to make, the enhancements, the new features that you're going to add, eventually you want to push it to this GitHub link. And then once you fork it, you have to open the Google Cloud Shell and then clone that project in the Google Cloud Shell. And then you have to open the pom.xml of this project and change the Java version from 21 to 17 and leave rest of the stuff alone. So now let's go ahead and get this done. So I'm going to open the Google Cloud Shell. So back to console.cloud.google.com, and here is the cloud activate Cloud Shell button. So go ahead and click that. So that will ask you to authorize. It will use your Gmail account to authorize. And then once it's authorized, you are in the home folder of the Google Cloud Shell. So Google Cloud Shell is a small computing environment that is provided to anybody who wants to use the Google platform. So as long as you have a Gmail account, you will get one computing platform. And the beauty of this platform is that it has all the necessary softwares that are needed for this particular JEE application. Like we have Git installed, we have Java version 17, and then we also have the Google Cloud SDK, and there is also Gemini CLI. So everything that we need to work on this project is already there on this Cloud Shell. So it becomes really easy for us to enhance this project, add more functionalities to it as needed, and then also deploy it to Google Cloud. Everything becomes really seamless because all the necessary softwares are already there in this machine. Now let's take a look at the Java version, what version we have. So here you see that it is Open JDK version 17.0.16. So that's the whole reason we have to change in our POM from 21 to 17 so that it works. Okay, so now let's go ahead and clone the project. So this is the URL. Let me go back to that GitHub account. So here it is. So this is my project, and for cloning, you would want to select this. Again, in your case, since you would have forked it, right? So you'll have to get your separate URL, which will be different from this. Then let's go ahead and clone it. So git clone and that URL. So now if I do ls, you'll see that I have a project here, Spring Gemini example. So project is there, and now I have to change that Java from 21 to 17. For that, let me go ahead and click this, open in a new window. That will open a new window, and it will have the terminal in the bottom, and I can open an editor in the top portion of that page. So when I open this editor, I get the option to open this folder. So open folder. Now the folder that you want to open is the new project that we just now cloned. So I'll select that folder. And with that, I will be able to open any of the files in this folder. So I'm going to go and click on this pom.xml. Let me actually close this. Welcome. Yeah, it's already opened here. So now I want to change this 21 to 17 and then save it. Yeah, you can close all these pop-ups that show up here. And yeah, once it is saved to 17, I'm literally all set. Yeah, there's just one other thing I forgot here, to change this project ID in applications.properties file as well. So that is the up to that we finished up to this point, right? Let's go back to our slides again. So I finished this part of it. Now the next part is, from the terminal, run these commands: maven clean, and then maven spring boot run. Yeah, these commands are already there in the readme text of that project. So I'm going to run this. So maven clean will basically clean up all the compiled files, if at all anything is there in the target folder. So with this command, we'll be able to run the application on local Tomcat on the Cloud Shell computer that we are working with. And then once the application starts, you can access that application at port 8080. So we'll take a look at how to go about doing that. So you can access that application using this web preview button. So you see this web preview button. So you click on this, and then it will open up that application in port 8080. So now let's go ahead, do that. So I am right now in my home folder still. So I have to cd into this project, Spring Gemini example. And then first I'm going to run Maven clean so that it cleans up any class files that are sitting in the target folder. Better to do that, even though we just cloned it, so hopefully there is nothing, but it's still not a bad idea to make that as a habit. So whenever before you run your build, just always clean it and then build your application. Now let me also open this readme.md file, because we have the procedure of how to start the local right here. So yeah, this is the command that you want to use. So again, I'm back in the same root folder of the project, so I'm going to run this. So this will start a Tomcat application. You can take a look at all the logs that are coming out on the console, which gives you an idea what is going on. So here it is. You see the Tomcat initialization with port 8080. So it is now started and ready to go. It started pretty quickly actually. So now that it's ready to go, I'm going to dismiss this as well. So I want to see my project, right? So where can I see? So here is the web preview. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to be on port 8080 because we are seeing that here. It's initialized with port 8080. So I'm going to select this preview on port 8080, and here is the application. So this application should right off the bat simply work. So this is a travel agent app which uses Gemini in the backend to provide some good destinations to go based on certain inputs that the user is providing. So preferred destination, Paris, Japan, beach vacations. I'm selecting India. And the travel dates, I don't have to be specific. I'm just going to say December. And then interests, I'm going to say I want to go hiking. And budget, I will put some keywords for being budget friendly. And then get travel suggestion. Now this makes a REST call to the backend. The backend controller will invoke the service class, which will in turn connect with the Vertex AI and get me the suggestions. And those suggestions are again sent back to the front end, and the JavaScript will render it on the HTML. So here is what I got as the results, as you can see. So yes, it is asking me to go to lower Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and Western Ghats, Kerala and Karnataka. So it gave me some really good suggestions for hiking. And it's also budget friendly and so on and so forth. Now you can continue with the agent asking more follow-up questions here and clicking on this button, and you can have a conversation with the prior questions saved for the agent to understand the conversation history and then provide you the next set of answers so that you have a continuation of the chat. Now this is the application. As you can see, it is working, right? So now let's go back to our slides, and so the next thing to do is to deploy to Google Cloud. So for that, what do we do? Well, you can select the project to which you want to deploy to. If it is already not selected, in my case, it's already selected to MBCC test, so I really don't have to do anything. But how do I know that that is indeed the project? That what we have to do is, let me come out of this now. So I want to come out of this page, go back to the Cloud Shell here, and I want to stop this server. So the way you want to stop this local server is do a Control-C. So Control-C, and then that stops your local server. And then once that is stopped, you want to first of all ascertain that it is the right project, right? So here is the drop down. So select the drop down and select your project to which you want to deploy to. So that is the project that I want to deploy to. So it is selected. Now how do we know that it's indeed selected? So another way of finding out is you can run this gcloud config list. So that tells you which project is selected for deployment. And as you can see here, the project is MBCC test. So I'm all set now. Otherwise, you can also set this. I mean, if you didn't select this drop down and selected your project, you can also set it from the command prompt. And that would be gcloud config set project and the name of the project to which you want to deploy. So yeah, this is another way. And again, you can run the same command to see if the project is again set to the one that you're interested in, and it is selected correctly. Now I'm ready to deploy my project. So to deploy your project, you have to be inside that root folder of the project. Now let's see where I am. I am in the home folder and not in the root of the project. So I'm going to first cd to Spring Gemini example. So now if I do pwd, you'll see that I'm inside the root folder of the project, and now I run this command gcloud app deploy, which will deploy this application to MBCC test. And it's asking me, do you want to continue? I say yes, and then it goes ahead and deploys that project to MBCC test. It will take a while for it to finish, and once it's done, it gives you a URL, and that would be the URL, external facing URL, that you can pass on to anybody to access your project. And now that while it's working on it, let's also explore how to use Gemini CLI. So you see this project has some bare bones HTML, literally one HTML, that's all it has. So let's actually take a look at what all this project has. Yeah, let's take a look at this project folder. So source, and in that main, and in that resources, static, this project just has one index.html, and that's pretty much it. Let's say you want to also create a login page where the login page is going to accept username and password. You can get such kind of things done using Gemini CLI. It becomes really simple using Gemini to add additional functionalities. So for that, let's open one more terminal. You see here, clicking on this will help you open another terminal. So we'll open the terminal, and by default, we always come into the home directory. So again, you want to get into the project, the root of the project, and then you key in Gemini, hit enter to open your Gemini CLI. So Gemini CLI is another service that is available on Google Cloud Shell right off the bat, and it uses your authenticated credentials to start working on your project. Now here you can start doing your vibe coding by explaining what you want to get accomplished. So you can go ahead and say something like create a login page in the static folder that takes username and password values and sends it to the backend for authentication. Now again, as you can see, I made some spelling mistakes. It really doesn't matter, it understands. It understands even though you make some small silly mistakes here and there. It's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and hit enter, and then it starts working with you, and then starts creating the index.html, and you accept all the suggestions that it provides to begin with, or not, based on what it is doing. And then you can get your the login.html done. You can get a backend servlet created to handle this login. So it can do everything. I mean, it can create the HTML file. It can also go and tweak your Java files. It can add new Java files as required. It will go and fix any existing bugs that you have. So you can start doing your vibe coding and complete a lot of different functionalities using Gemini. So I'm not going to use my tokens to start working on it. So I'm going to come out of this. So for this one also, it is Control-C to get out of the Gemini. So press Control-C twice, and that will get you out of the Gemini CLI. And then again, once you test it fully, so whenever you want to test, you want to once again test it with local first. So whenever you run the local, as I showed you previously, it has to be something like this. So you have to run this command, so it will run the local. So when the local is running, you can kill that using Control-C. And when the local is running, you preview that from this preview button, ensure that everything was working fine. Once everything is working, then you go ahead and deploy to the external cloud. And here is the URL. So it gave me the URL. So if I click on that URL, we should be able to see this application in an external facing box. So there it is. So it has deployed correctly. So I'm all set with this project. Hope this helps you folks get your simple project up and running on Google Cloud. Thank you.